Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm continuing on with this series where I'm sharing the curriculum choices that I have for the upcoming 2022-2023 school year. So these choices that I'm sharing in this video pertain to my upcoming 5th grader. So again, these are just the individualized subjects that he is covering himself. Again, I said I would cover all of the subjects that we cover together as a family in an upcoming video, so be on the lookout for that video. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with what I have planned for Isaiah. He is my upcoming 5th grader. So first things first, we have our individualized math curriculum, and so he will just be naturally progressing into Saxon math. This one will be 7-6. So again, if you've not seen my videos before, you know that traditionally we find that it's more appropriate for our kids to level up in math. So the way it is sequenced out from where we started, this is just the next natural progression for him in the math courses. So we will be moving him into Saxon math 7-6. And so when you buy like the kit that comes together, you have it's a textbook approach. So the lessons are like a textbook where we have some mental math work that he and I do together. Then it goes into the lesson. So once you do the new concept covered in the lesson, then you have some lesson practice. Those are the questions that pertain directly to what I just taught him. So we'll make sure that he knows that before we kind of jump into or basically just moving on. So I want to make sure that he knows how to do those before we move on, because if not, then I need to go back through that new concept and explain it again. And then that leads into a mixed practice, and the mixed practice is just a constant revolving review. And so this is what he uses as his textbook, and then he has to have an actual notebook where he is writing all of his answers in it as he goes. So there are no worksheets that go along with this for him to do the daily work. It's actually just like an actual textbook. But it does come along, so since I've already used this for my older son, we were able to pull this out of storage and be able to have it and use it. The only thing I had to buy new this year was this book of tests and worksheets. So it does have a daily like math fact worksheet. So we have some subtraction and we have multiplication problems that he's going to do daily. So it's one of those, and then in the back, of course, we have the test worksheets. And then when he does those, I do give him a separate sheet of paper that he's able to use. He doesn't have to do that in his notebook. And then obviously it does come with an answer key, which is super great because then you're not left trying to figure out if all of the answers are correct. Now, one thing that I do want to mention that I'm going to be personally trying out this year, we're going to do the trial week with Nicole, the math lady. So she does the Saxon math lessons, and they can watch a video and work through that with her. And so that is something that I'm going to be trying this year with my kids. I've just kind of gotten to the point where I've realized that teaching 4 different math levels in the day is just a little much. Up to this point, I teach every single math lesson, every single language lesson, and I've done it all. And I'm just realizing that I just don't have, even though I don't mind it, I don't have enough time in the day to do 7th grade, 5th grade, 3rd grade, and 1st grade for this upcoming year. So that is something that we are going to be trying. While we will still be sticking with Saxon, I am going to be going and trying Nicole, the math lady, which is an online subscription service that we're going to be going, where she teaches the lessons rather than me teaching them. I can update you on that later on as to how that's working out, or if we're going to continue it, but we're going to start with a trial period and then go from there. If we like it, if the kids find that it is beneficial and helpful, and I find that it's kind of easing the burden of my time spent with each kid, then we will obviously continue with it. So I will keep you posted on that. So that is math. Let's go ahead and move on to like the language arts, the English component. So if you watch my channel, this is of no surprise to you. I sing all the praises of IEW, and so we are continuing on with it. So Isaiah is going into 5th grade, and so I think, if I remember correctly, on IEW, when you follow their plan, you can start, level A, year 1. You could start it technically in 3rd grade. We actually started IEW in 4th grade. From what my boys are not super lovers of writing, and so we didn't start it until 4th grade. And that seems to be a pretty good fit for us. I think if I had tried to start it in 3rd grade, I don't think it would have gone as well. So we started last year in 4th grade with Level A, Year 1. And so this is just the natural progression of moving into IEW for next year for Isaiah. And I'll just give you a quick glance of what comes in with it. You have a binder. This is the student binder that he's going to use, and everything's kind of slid out because obviously I don't have it ready yet. But these are the inserts. They're already 3-hole punch. They'll go in his binder. These include all of his source text and all of the different worksheets that he's going to need as he's doing his assignments. It comes with a teacher's manual so that I can kind of see what he's going over if I have any questions. And then we do the disc one because as we're living in a camper right now and traveling, we don't always know if we're going to have reliable internet, so we have stuck with the discs. So that's what comes in with this. It is kind of an open and go because he's able to watch the teaching from Andrew Pudewa on these discs, which my boys actually, they are not super big fans of writing, but I will say that they do enjoy the videos with Andrew Pudewa. He always starts out each lesson with a joke. My boys always pause the lesson and have to come tell me this joke. And so I will say he makes the writing process a lot better. And so 1, he's a great teacher, and 2, the system just really works. It is really great. But I love that they're able to watch the instruction from the creator of the program rather than me watching it and then trying to explain it to them on the way out, and like some things just get lost in translation. So I like that they get to hear it directly from him. So that's what's included in this. If you have any questions, I do have some other videos on my channel where I kind of walk through the process of IEW, as well as showing what it kind of looks like in our everyday, like our weekly schedule with my boys. So go ahead and search for those. You'll be able to find them, and they're kind of helpful. So if you've never done IEW, and again, I will sing the praises of IEW. It is a really great writing program. I wish I had been taught like that. Okay. So moving on, kind of in conjunction with IEW, because this is from the same like, obviously it's from IEW, but this is the grammar portion. So you will know that if you watched my video last year where I shared the curriculum for Isaiah, that I could have started him in Fix-It Grammar as well last year and lined it up with his first year of IEW, but he is a struggling writer and reader and speller. And so I just really felt like we needed to kind of hold off a year before we jumped into Fix-It Grammar. And I'll tell you why I'm a little glad that I did. 1, they have revamped the Fix-It Grammar curriculum. So they have actually added in another level in between the old 1 and 2. When I just did level 2 with my oldest, and I will say I am super excited for the changes that are coming because there was a huge leap between level 1 and level 2. And when we got into level 2, even my son and I were like, what's going on? We're kind of lost. So now there's kind of the old level 2 is more like a level 3. So there's kind of one that was squeezed in between 1 and 2. Another change in Fix-It Grammar. Again, I have another video of a look inside Fix-It Grammar. So if you'd like to see what it looks like inside, go ahead. This one is a little different. And here's one reason is, so at the end of every lesson, we used to rewrite it in a notebook. This one actually is having you rewrite it at the bottom of the page in the actual workbook that they give you. And so I think that will be a nice little addition of being able to rewrite it just from directly above, including all of the corrections that he's made. So I'm kind of excited about that. And so I can update you a little bit more as we kind of dive into this one of how I see the differences. If you're interested, let me know in the comment box below, but to see kind of how this compares to the old level 1 of the nose tree. So this will be kind of same curriculum, but I'm assuming there's going to be a couple of changes. So I can let you know if I notice anything major other than that one that kind of jumped out at me. All right, moving on to spelling. We are going to continue on with the spelling curriculum that we had already used. We have not finished this one. To me, spelling is just something that you just open and you continue on as you go. And so we haven't finished this book yet. So it comes with 2 different student books. You have part 1 and part 2, and we're almost finished with part 1. So we hadn't finished the other one. So when we started this last school year, we were kind of in the middle. So I think it's just going to be something that we're constantly never really finishing on, you know, at the end of every school year and starting a new one fresh at the beginning of every school year. So it's just kind of off. So we're just continuing on with this. I do have a video as well about Spelling UC. We really do enjoy this one. This son who is doing this one, he is the only one of mine who uses Spelling UC. He just has a couple extra challenges where we needed something different than the traditional have a list of spelling words and write them 3 times and then at the end of the week we'll have a spelling test. That just wasn't working for him. The rules weren't sticking. We needed the words to be a little bit more in context, and so we found that this worked a little bit better. Again, it comes with 1 and 2 parts, and then it does come with a teacher's manual or instructor's handbook. So we'll just be finishing this up this year, and then obviously probably sometime in the middle of the year we're going to need to move on to the next level, which would be level E. This one is on Americana. I'm not sure what level E will be, but the level C was animals. So everyone is just kind of themed, and we'll be moving on to the next one once we finish this one. All right, and I think this, as I'm looking over, I think this is one of the last things, and you're going to notice this was like a random purchase. I found it at Mardel. If you've never been to a Mardel Christian store, it has lots of homeschool educational resources. Happened to just be rummaging through some of the clearance and happened to find this. Isaiah is my rock and fossil lover, and so I thought that this would just be a fun little elective kind of thing to throw in with him that's just especially for him. So it just kind of has some reading that you can do on the different rocks, like here's something about igneous rock, and then you can kind of have some worksheets at the bottom. So because he's just so into rocks and fossils, and I mean, he can be out looking through gravel and he'll find some fossils and he wants to bring them all home, and we have rocks all over the place. So I just thought this would be something fun, something special for him to add in that only he's going to be doing, you know, just kind of thrown in as a little extra science for him. So that's something we have in. And I almost forgot, we have one other thing that I was going to share that we are doing. We started it at the end of the last school year, and we've kind of been doing it through the summer just for a couple of like summer bridge activities to be doing, but we are doing Typing Without Tears. So as he and Gabriel were kind of getting to the point in IEW where you're writing your final draft, Isaiah's still writing his, sometimes I would type his papers. I really noticed it with Gabriel, and you know, he's sitting there trying to type out his paper, that I really dropped the ball on the typing. And so for actually all of the kids, I got them their own little login to do some typing lessons with Typing Without Tears. Now, obviously, I don't have anything to show you because this is a completely online computer program, and I've already had some requests for me to show you what it looks like and practice, so I'll be on the lookout for that video. But everything is on the computer, so the typing, it'll show you a picture of a hand and a letter, and it will show you, you know, which finger to type, you know, when you're need to write an F, you need to use this finger, and when you do a W, you need to use this finger. And then it just has little things that you're typing. It practices with the mouse and how to move the mouse correctly, and then moves into the home row, and then as you advance out of the home row of which fingers to use. And it's just kind of like a fun little game, but everything you're typing is above, and then it's just showing you a hand, and it kind of lights up which hand or which finger you should be using to type that key, if that makes sense. I might have completely rambled that, and I apologize if I did. I will be making a video of that to help it make a little bit more sense, but because it's on the computer, I don't have anything to show you. I don't get any papers or books or anything that go with it. It's all completely online. So that is something else that we're adding into it. And I usually just have the kids do, you know, a week's worth of activities in a time that they sit down and just go through all of them. So that's the other thing that we're adding in. But that is pretty much it. We have our math, we have our language things, and you know, a fun little science thing to throw in, and then the typing. So that covers the individual subjects for my upcoming 5th grader. If you have any questions, as always, post them below. I'll be happy to answer them as best as I can. And until next time, guys, have a blessed day.